Hi everyone, Grey Power 60 here. I'm going to have a little chat with you. I've got a cup of tea. There's a lot of things going on in my life, and this is the only opportunity I have while my grandson is sleeping here to be able to talk to you. There's been quite an event of things happening in the last little while. I thought I would share with you. As you know, my daughter is my firstborn. She is a nurse, and my son was adopted when he was a brand new baby, and so I've had two children all my life. And last week, my son found his birth mother, or they found him through social media, and it's been quite an emotional roller coaster for everyone, and especially him. And he has found that his birth mother, he has sisters. It's a big family, and they are all so loving and wanting to meet him, and they're planning a meeting in the spring, and it's been quite an interesting turn of events for all of us here. As his adopted mother, I never considered him adopted. I always considered him my son. And I mean, he was a month old. Even your own children, sometimes you forget their birth. But anyway, it's quite an exciting thing. I am very thankful that she was brave and wise enough to give her son. And I am so pleased that God's plan was for me to be his mom. And he's had a very loving, patient mother in me. And of course, I love him to death. And he's, I mean, life is life, right? Things happen, and teen years are terrible, terrible twos, terrible teens. However, I am very, very proud that he has connected with his birth family. And there are many, many aunties and cousins and sisters, and I don't know how many. It's still new to me. But I did write her a letter. It's something that I tend to do, is think about what to write and what to say. And the first thing that I said was thank you for giving him a life and allowed me to give him a life of patience and love. And he did grow up with lots of patience and lots of love. And I mean, he's 44 now. His birth mother, I think he's 62. There's a lot of coincidences. Her name is Kathleen. My ex-husband's sister's name is Kathleen. Her birthday's on the 12th. My birthday's on the 12th. My son's birthday's on the 12th. There's a lot of coincidences, rather interesting. From an adoptive mother's point of view, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. I feel grateful. I feel fine that he has found her. I think that's important for him to know his history, his ancestry. It's very, very important, each of us as individuals, to know the history of our families. And I have no animosity, jealousy, whatever. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel. I know what I feel. I feel grateful. I love my son with all my heart. He has turned out to be a wonderful man, good father, husband, and actually he's been looking after me since Mom passed. He's been my rock. And but I'm a firm believer that once our childbearing days are over, once they have created their own life, once they build their own family, my job is just about over, except for the grandparent part. I mean, that's heaven. That's heaven to be a grandparent and to spoil your grandchildren the way you wish you could have spoiled your own children and things like that. So yeah, it's been interesting. It's been emotional. It took me a little bit to understand my own feelings because I lost my mom a year ago, and I'm still in that grieving and missing her. There she is, missing her desperately, and trying to understand that I'm sort of now the matriarch of the family. In the old days, the matriarch always took control of things, and I don't feel it's like that now. You know, we always had that grandmother and grandfather who were the pillar of our families, and they were the ones who brought the family together, and especially if you're in a big family. But when you're in a small family like mine, there was just me and my brother, and although I had cousins that I grew up with and they felt like brothers and sisters, it was always the grandmother that held the family together and brought the groups together. And then I have a small family. I've just got a daughter and my son, and my daughter sort of helps us bring us together every Christmas Eve as a family, and where the cousins get to know each other, and they're all boys, so they're all having a great time with the video games and the talking and the playing and the getting to know each other, and they're getting older, you know, they're getting, it's not the little boys that I used to play with anymore. Now it's learning to understand their new lives and growing up. And now with an extended family, it was interesting, I guess. I pray a lot, and I pray for guidance, and I pray for, you know, good things to happen and things like that. And it's kind of exciting, you know. It's kind of I can't explain it. I think I tried. I hope this is loud enough and I'm not talking too softly. How I feel, I think was a concern for my son, because we are close, and I'm perfectly okay. I mean, my God, this woman gave birth to a baby, was brave enough, wise enough to know she couldn't keep him, and I was blessed. God's plan was that I would be his mom, and being very, I think, patient, very loving, and coming from a very loving family, and him being surrounded by loving family, I think we did okay, and I think that she, his birth mom, can be can rest assured that my son has many qualities, and what's amazing, what is lovely and amazing, is he looks just like her, and he has a sister, Sherry, looks just like her, and the similarities in the face, you know, my son's very handsome, I must say, which is really wonderful, and And it's going to be a while to kind of, you watch these things on TV, these families getting together after many, many years, or the long lost son, long lost daughter, things like that. And you never, you can imagine what it feels like, but you really don't know until you've experienced it yourself. And I am not a resentful, jealous person. I am not. I suppose there's a twinge of jealousy, if I could use that word, that she is the one who gave birth to him. But I had the privilege of raising him, going through the horrible times, the good times, the whatever, the teens, the usual stuff. But he's always had my love, and he's always had my patience. I think that's something that I tried to instill in him, and positivity. I always tried to instill kindness, empathy, compassion, and all of those things. And he has all of those things to a certain degree. He's a man. He's a man. At age 44, he has his own thoughts and feelings about things. But there's a certain point when a mom, regardless of whether you're an adoptive mom or a birth mom, because I had to do the same with my daughter. My daughter was my birth daughter. I don't know how to say that, but anyway. There's a point when you have to let go as a parent. I mean, you struggle with biting your tongue when you want to steer them in the right direction, but you have to also realize that they have their own life. They have their own ideas, and times change. When I was growing up is different than when my son was growing up and my daughter were growing up. And my mom, when she was growing up, was a lot different than when I was growing up. And I think because my mom and dad grew up during, the Depression and as children, and wanted more for their children. And I think that's where things sort of started to tip in, that children started to feel entitled, I suppose, to a certain degree. And it was hard to explain that when life is changing all around, and technology, and the world is suddenly so small. Anyway, going on and on about that. So that is our family news. The horrible thing here is my hair is growing long. I'm starting to feel like a scraggly old witch. But, since Mom passed, my whole grieving process, where my sleep is totally upside down, right side up. And of course, since this new development, it also has been, kind of, I'm up all night and sleep for a couple hours during the day. My videos are, sporadic. But as I mentioned, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is working okay for me right now. And although this is a bonus video for Friday, because I think it's important. Although I might put it up on the weekend instead. I don't know yet. I'm still trying to navigate through life. Yeah. But things are going good. It was nice to have the family around. It's nice to get to know my grandsons more. Because my daughter-in-law was a stay-at-home mom, my babysitting time was very, very slim, not very often. And now I'm getting a chance to get to know my grandsons a little bit better and having a little fun with them. Because for my daughter, because she worked at nights as a nurse, and my son-in-law worked, I babysat a lot. Between me and the other grandma, we shared the babysitting times when the boys were little. So it was a different dynamic, where I was very close to them when they were little. And then COVID hit. And then for 3 years, I figured 3 years, all of a sudden my babies grew into men, you know, I guess, sort of, and getting to know them all over again. But it's a blessing. I love being a grandmother. I love my boys. And I am blessed now that my son has discovered that he has a multitude of extended family. Apparently, they're quite large, and all looking forward to meeting him. They're planning a trip. They had planned a honeymoon trip in the spring for him and his wife because they didn't have a honeymoon when they got married, and so now this honeymoon is kind of postponed for a trip out to Saskatchewan, which is where my son was born, and meet his birth family and all the relatives, and apparently there's lots. so so it's been quite an interesting week, week and a half, almost 2 weeks of emotional highs and lows, and coming to terms with this newfound information. And I am very, very happy for my son. Very happy. Happy for him and his family. It's not always easy to find your history, to find your ancestors, to find brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and mothers and so on that had been thought to be lost and suddenly found. So there's a whole adjustment period that needs to go through, and I'm going on 74. I'm an old lady, and have lived a big life, an enjoyable life. I think, I hope, and this is his time. This is his life and his learning and his whatever else we want to call it. So as an adoptive mom, I am happy for him, because all you want for your children is happiness, calmness, love, patience, empathy, compassion, all those wonderful things. So that's what's been going on in my little life in this little corner of my apartment. There's a lot of things to talk about. There's a lot of things to discuss. And when you're emotional, it's not good to make plans. So I'm just kind of riding the wave. I'm doing some crafting. I'm doing some great stuff. My daughter gave me a 5x7 jelly plate for Christmas, which I'm so excited to try. Carrie the Crafter has announced his March, 31 Days in March Mixed Media Challenge. I am truly excited about that. I have been going through my stashes of stuff and packing away things that are not relevant right now, and starting to try new things, playing around with new things. One of the things that I discovered, I just think is fun. I've got it pinned up here because I printed it off. If I can get it off here. I wish I could remember names right now. It's too early in the morning for me to remember anything. However, drawing your own ephemera, embellishments, whatever you want to call them. And I discovered how, and I wish I could remember her name. If I do, I'll link it below. But anyway, so this is what I have been trying to make fun. These are lips, fun things. These are people. That's just one of many that I've done. I've done so many. Also, what we call fodder. Apparently this is called fodder. When I cut that out and use it, fodder is anything that an artist uses to create. whether it be a tool, whether it be a medium of some kind, whatever that is, it's considered fodder. So anyway, I'm just starting to learn how to make. I'm trying to think not abstract people, but you know what I mean. Trying to make things using magazine pieces and drawing, using the color of behind the magazine and drawing flowers and cutting it out and using that. I've got lots of those going on. Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of things. The other thing that I did, I might as well show you too, since this is, even though it's a chatty information kind of a tea with me, I'm having my tea. I'm having my tea. Tea with me any day. I also decided to make a swatch of all the colors that I have for my distress inks, because sometimes when I go to Michael's or I look online and there's a sale on, especially Michael's, when there's buy one get one free, I love that, which is what I bought, I think the last 4 colors that I bought. But I want to make sure I don't get the same colors, and sometimes you forget. I mean, there's ones I won't forget because I use them a lot. But there are some, like Carved Pumpkin, Rusty Hinge, you know, those are things I might forget the name of. So I have that pinned and I just fold it, take it with me, and then when there's a sale on, I'll be able to get more. And you saw in my Temu haul where I bought more brushes, I needed new, I like the brushes. I like using the brushes. So, and I've been making all kinds of things. I found a couple of my watercolor books that I want to continue with. And if you recall, quite a while ago, I made this out of what is it, handmade paper they call it, with all of the little pieces in it, and I backed it on cardstock, and all of this, it's loose mind you, but all of these pages, this is my kind of crazy thing that I tried, using paints and brush. I'm not sure what I used, but anyway, so this is my watercolor, and I want to do more watercolor and learn more. But I've kind of shifting, you know, I went from upcycling and recycling things and making things from scratch, like booties or boots, or my Christmas elves, making them into Santas, things like that, into more paper and designing more paper things, and then getting into journaling. And then the journaling kind of expanded into art, and trying my hand at sketching and doing some art, which I showed you in my no, it's probably too far away. Probably too far away. My sketchbook art that I show you on a weekly basis. And then this one, I remember I found it because I haven't been doing gel. This is my runoff journal paper, and it is watercolor paper. It's multimedia paper, which is great. So I use it for my runoff of, and I've only used 2 pages. So obviously I need to have it out more, but it was not handy because when I moved everything in here, everything became kind of, you know, all over the place. So, yeah, I'm not only getting organized, I'm also packing away things that are no longer relevant. Like I've got a lot of wool, for instance. Well, I'm not doing any of those hats. I'm not doing any pom-poms. And if I need to, I can go into storage and find them. So most of my things that I've been doing are experimenting with dyeing papers with coffee, tea, watercolors. I haven't tried paints or um, inks, and I've got a lot of different things, but I've been trying a lot of different things. Expanding my artistic uh, abilities and knowledge, and trying not to come up with a style because I don't know if I have a style. I think I do, but it's not quite developed yet. So, yeah, yeah. I hope everyone's doing well, and I hope you are patient with me as I try and do videos when I can. Early mornings is really the best time, but when everyone is off to school or still sleeping and the sun is coming up, and yeah, I just need to get to bed earlier. I need to do that. But I hope everything's going well with you. Um, I guess a mission for me for 2025, one of my missions is that I've been kind of stuck at 3,058 subscribers. I kind of like to hit that 4,000 this year, to have 4,000 subscribers. So I'm hoping that I'm going to entertain you enough and give you enough information and material that you will join me, pass my name along, let them know what I'm up to. I'm always up to something, craziness. But anyway, so that's it for me for today. I think that that was a lot of information for you. I still want to discover new things, trying to find my niche in the artistic, crafty world. And although I like a lot of things, there are some things I just don't like. And so I'm avoiding that kind of thing. And I think I mentioned it before, people doing junk journals with leftover, what we would call garbage, leftover things that you're going to toss into the trash, is not for me. And some people are really, really good at it, and it really looks awesome. But for me, it's too busy, it's too cluttered. I think I need a kind of a story in each page. And forgive me, I mean, I'm sure these stories are great, so I have changed my junk journal to art journal. I think that when I create a journal that I want to use to write in, it's going to be an artistic journal and not a junk journal, even though I am using different pages, could be considered junk, but not really, because I'm not using anything. Well, I guess if I was using recycled cereal boxes or boxes to make covers, that would be considered junk. Naughty me. But I think you know what I mean. So, and I do know a lot of people that are doing wonderful work, wonderful work in junk journals. I think I tend to go more art journal. I like something to be. Anyway, it's like people who prefer, Picasso to, any of the Renaissance type paintings. We all have our own tastes. We have our own, and I do not diminish the work that people do in junk journals. They are committed. It's the same as glue books. They find something and they want to sort of put it together and create something. That's wonderful. That's not. I'm not there. I'm not there. I'm still processing my style. I don't know what it is yet. Anyway, guys, I have talked long enough. I've let you know on the news of what's going on in our home. Mummy is keeping an eye on me, and she has allowed me to heal. It took me a year and a little bit. It's just about the same with my dad when my dad passed. It took me 18 months to kind of feel somewhat normal. I still have tears. I still have moments, but I'm moving on and trying to be a grown-up and trying to deal with things in a more grown-up way. Sometimes I still feel like a little girl learning, but anyway, I'm learning, I'm falling, I'm doing, I'm experimenting, but as I said, I think my word for the year is renewal, and this is a year of renewal, and I hope it is a good year for all of us, and we need to be patient. I think patience is really important. Kindness and patience, and I hope you all are kind and patient with me, and I hope you will join me again when I can sit down and have a nice chat with you, talk about life, talk about what's going on in my life. I have still got stuff behind me. I'm not going to show you. It's right behind me, that need to be packed in boxes and put in storage, because I need a little bit more, little less chaos in my craft area, where I can reach for things that I'm using on the regular. And I might take you along with me on that little journey. So that is it for me for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for your kind words. If there's any questions, anything at all that you'd like to ask, I may do a Q&A once a month if I get enough questions. You guys know me well enough that maybe you don't have any questions to ask. But if you do, and I will also put it in my community page, I will ask if there's any questions. I can do a Q&A on anything you want to ask, within reason, and I will get to that and do like Carrie does, maybe once a month, do a Q&A and maybe grab 10 questions and do my best to answer them. Yeah, so that's it for me. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had a beverage of some kind, coffee, tea, whatever. And I hope you have a great week coming up. And I hope you had a great week. And I hope that life is good to you. And that I do think of you. There's many of you are in my thoughts and prayers often. And yeah. So that's it for me. Let's get perky. Let's get doing. I've got some major things going on today that need to be done. I've got boxes going into storage. They're Christmas stuff. We're going to go and put that in storage and clean up and try and get some order in my little studio. Thanks for joining me, guys. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.